Welcome back, brave souls, to another spine-chilling episode in our Haunted Places series. If you're drawn to the eerie, the abandoned, and the deeply unsettling, then you're in the right place. Today, we're traveling to the waters of Japan, where lies an island that has fascinated and terrified people for decades. Hashima Island, also known as Battleship Island or Gunkanjima, is more than just an abandoned piece of land. It's a place that holds within its crumbling walls a dark and tragic story, a story of life, labor, loss, and lingering souls. Once home to thousands of workers, today it stands desolate, its silence broken only by the sound of crashing waves and the occasional whisper of the wind. But what really happened here? What forced its people to leave overnight? And why do so many believe that the island is still inhabited? Not by the living, but by spirits of the past. Stay with me as we uncover the disturbing truth about Hashima Island. And if you're fascinated by haunted mysteries from around the world, hit that subscribe button and join our growing family of paranormal explorers. To understand the haunted legacy of Hashima, we first need to understand how it came to be. Located off the coast of Nagasaki, Hashima Island was once a booming coal mining facility owned by Mitsubishi. In the late 1800s, as Japan pushed forward in its industrial revolution, the country needed fuel, and Hashima provided it in abundance. The island was rich in undersea coal deposits, and it didn't take long before tunnels were drilled deep below the seabed, creating one of Japan's most productive mining operations. To accommodate the growing workforce, Mitsubishi constructed apartment blocks, schools, a hospital, and even a cinema. Hashima housed over 5,000 people on just 16 acres of land, making it one of the most densely populated places on Earth at the time. From a distance, the cluster of concrete buildings resembled a massive battleship. But life in Hashima was far from ideal. Though it was an engineering marvel, it was also a prison of concrete. The sea walls, built to protect the island from typhoons, also created a sense of claustrophobia. Families lived in cramped apartments, sharing facilities and often enduring brutal weather. But beyond the tough living conditions was a far darker truth, one that would haunt the island for generations. During World War II, the demand for coal surged, and Hashima became more than just a mining site, it became a place of forced labor. Korean and Chinese prisoners were brought to the island against their will. These men were forced to work in treacherous conditions, digging deep into the earth with minimal safety, food, or rest. Records reveal that many of them died underground, either from accidents, exhaustion, or malnutrition. Some bodies were never recovered. Others were quietly buried, their names never recorded. The island, once a symbol of industrial glory, became a graveyard for countless souls who suffered in silence. To this day, survivors and their descendants demand recognition for the atrocities committed there. The legacy of pain and injustice has never truly been erased. Many believe it's this suffering that left a spiritual scar on Hashima Island. They say the spirits of those who died here remain, unable to find peace. The mysterious abandonment. By the 1970s, Japan's economy had shifted from coal to petroleum. Hashima's purpose had diminished, and in 1974, Mitsubishi announced that the mine was closing. Practically overnight, the island was evacuated. Families left behind their belongings. Tools were dropped mid-task. It was as if time stopped in an instant. Hashima became a ghost town. For decades, it sat untouched, abandoned to the elements, with nature slowly reclaiming the buildings. But those who managed to sneak onto the island began to report strange occurrences, whispers echoing through the empty hallways, the sound of footsteps in buildings that should have been empty, shadows darting past broken windows. One explorer claimed to have seen a man standing at the end of a hallway, motionless, watching. But when the explorer turned a corner to approach, the man had vanished. The only problem? The corridor led to a collapsed wall. There was nowhere for anyone to go. Paranormal encounters and haunting reports. Over the years, many thrill seekers and paranormal investigators have visited Hashima, legally or otherwise, and many of them have returned with chilling tales. Some say they've heard miners shouting deep underground, even though the mine shafts are sealed. Others claim they've seen flickering lights in buildings that have been without power for decades. One group of investigators brought EMF detectors and thermal cameras. In one of the apartments, they detected unexplained spikes and sudden cold spots, classic signs of spiritual activity. A few even claim to have been touched or pushed by invisible hands. There are stories of cameras malfunctioning at the worst moments, batteries draining instantly, or footage disappearing entirely after being recorded. One particularly disturbing story comes from a visitor who swears he saw a group of people working in the mine from a distance. He described them as wearing old-fashioned uniforms and moving in sync. But when he got closer, there was no one there, only the sound of the sea and the rustling of wind through broken walls. Theories and beliefs. So, what is the truth behind Hashima's eerie presence? Some skeptics chalk it up to the island's haunting atmosphere. Dark hallways, ruined buildings, and echoes amplified by sea winds can play tricks on the mind. Others believe there's more to it. Psychics and spiritualists claim that Hashima is what they call a residual haunting, a place so filled with trauma that the energy replays itself like a broken record. Others suggest it could be an intelligent haunting, where spirits trapped by injustice and violence still linger, reaching out to the living in hopes of being heard. Whatever the cause, there's no denying the heavy feeling that hangs over Hashima. Even in broad daylight, there's an oppressive silence, as if the island itself is holding its breath, waiting for something, or someone. Hashima today. Ghosts of the past today. Hashima is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Some parts of the island have been reopened to tourists under strict supervision. But even then, visitors are restricted to certain paths. The deeper parts of the island remain off limits, too dangerous structurally, they say. But some believe the real reason is spiritual, not physical. Locals often speak of Hashima with hushed voices. Some refuse to visit. Others leave offerings at nearby shrines, praying for the souls trapped on the island. Whether it's out of fear, respect, or guilt, one thing is clear: Hashima Island continues to hold power over those who know its story. It's not just an abandoned place. It's a reminder, a warning, a monument to the cost of industrial progress and the suffering that can be buried under concrete and ambition. Could you walk through those hollow buildings, knowing what happened beneath your feet? Or would you feel the invisible eyes watching, the weight of forgotten souls pressing against your chest? Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Hashima is truly haunted? Or is it just a powerful story amplified by time and silence? And if you're drawn to places with tragic histories and ghostly mysteries, be sure to subscribe. We have many more stories to tell. Until next time, stay curious, and stay safe. Some ghosts don't like to be forgotten.